See, I've been in here for a little minute. You know what I'm saying? And I see niggas, they like to talk a lot. They like to claim leadership. They like to claim this and that. You know what I'm saying? They like to be above what they really is and have authority. But they don't really need that authority. They don't really know what to do with that leadership. You understand? You hold hands with this boy, your ass need to stop and ask you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. See, everybody ain't with all that peace talk. Everybody ain't with all that bygone be. Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you to profit. It's about to get serious. When they hit us with dope and kill us with crack, where the fuck with your leaders? I'm curious. He cashed out on your blood, traded you in and bought a new biz. Ask you the prophets, I tell you the scheme. If you don't wake up, you gon' die in your dreams. I tell you once, won't tell you no more. I swear these crackers try to kill us slow. Just spoke to a nigga in Fed, he up for parole because of the COVID. It feel like the host in this world that don't go together. Know that it's gold in the ghetto. I'm in the city blazing with my niggas. Just told the devil the score never settled. Yeah, see the prophets. I'm tired of these niggas keep talking about, you know, you respect my religion, I respect your religion. Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you the prophets. You know, like we all come together. Cause you know, they say God so loved the world. God so loved the world, and know boy, your ass need to stop and ask you the prophets. Don't give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. Hey, gentlemen, y'all, we don't pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up. You know what I'm saying? Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you to promise. One step, I'm solid for show. To the fake niggas, stay silent, I got it, let's go. Let's go. I ain't taking no losses, ain't no token when we got the flow. Ain't no peace, just play with your own. I'ma be loyal to the right arm. Tell him we can't keep it slate. And I can never let bygone be bygone. Got your baby mother on high. Got your baby pass through the fire. Ask you the prophets, that baby so belong to the Lord. How dare you abort it? Devil will fail you, bitch, I can afford it. I prepare slaughter, you bring me my water. Push your leaders weak, let them lies slip through their teeth. Their ass need to stop and ask you the prophets.
That's just the reality, Christians. I'm sorry to hurt your feelings. I know your pastor lied to you every Sunday for 30 years, but that's what the church is for, lying. That's why they exist, to lie the money out of your pockets.
Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga.
Hey, I'm just following orders. Let me get one of those slow motion pictures, bro. One of the slow motion pictures.
You gotta shoot at 60 frames per second.
Come on, that.
They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move and coach shit. Cause if they make the wrong move and coach shit. You see me, they like, ooh, keep on shopping. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. Coming up, I'm about to bullshit. They see me, they like, ooh, keep on shopping. I'm on my body, real niggas right beside me. Damn right, I brought my army, going up like a rocket, and can't nobody stop me. These niggas garbage, so watch your mouth, boy. Coming all black, slithering house, call me mouth, boy. I'm off the hip like a cowboy. I'm a king, you should bow, boy. So they like, damn, man, you cut up. Nothing I can handle. 144 in the booth, going Rambo. Niggas do you dirty like a stick in a bando. That's why I play the corner like a bum with a banjo. I'ma lead by example. Sabe got this bitch off the hand, got the juice, got the drip, about to hit the bitch with the salt. It ain't rap, it's assault. Can't taste a bitch unless you with the coke. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move and coach shit. Cause if they make the wrong move and coach shit. Hey. One way, one way, one way, one way, one way.
I do it how a veteran be. You better than me. I'm Reggie at the edge of the key. It's all money, no honey. Think you settle and see. You locked up, fucked up, and it's back to the
legend in this shit. Lil nigga, I'm past veteran. Never feeling third, lil nigga, I'm past second. Guns, I gotta have them all like Ash Ketchum. Shotty break a nigga ribs up like his wife left him. We all steppin', kill you with kindness cause I'm dead nice. That 5'7" put you 6 feet, not talking height. That judge giving out 5, but you doing life. These hands are rude GPS, a mean right. That's mean right, we build different, you know the vibes. And we stamped it authentic, we notarized. I keep a 144 because I know a kind. Noah's Ark, you know I'm with animals when we flowin' by. We back again, no cap, when I'm with Cap again. Yeah, they say they want smoke until we matching them. Everything righteous, so you know when we get back at them, you get hit up with a K, but no acronym.
They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they boss shit. These niggas better move and coach shit. Cause if they make the wrong move, it cost shit. You see me, they like, ooh, chemo shopping. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. Coming up on my divorce.
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So you said that they put millions of my people. Yes, you said. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right. That's right.
You see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacle sat in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home, only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting, the trail of my tears is countless. Main fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Crack in the sky, nuclear missiles and make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be, slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cage and safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash, get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
You see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
Look, ain't no remorse in my blood, Slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in this body, you fit the Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is served cold, I just hope they make an oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in a world of mad shooters. There was design 5 for our babies to pass through it. And the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
You see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
Hey, Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakathum. Yahweh Shema Thumb by Yahushua. Priest and Officer, I'm a Wanga Bar, Tuesday Brotherhood class. And I did not say we breaking down viral video. I didn't say it this time. That's a lie. Nah, but tonight what we're gonna talk about, we'll talk about how it's cool when they do it, when there's a problem, we do it. And of course, we talking about the so-called white man. You know, it's no other person we could be talking about. It's a black and white world. You feel me? It always has been, always will be. You feel me? The world of the slaves and the slave masters. You feel me? So it's cool when they do stuff, but when we do it, it's a problem. When we was drug addicts, it was a problem. Got to do the war on drugs. Got to stop crime. Got to make up 3 strike laws. When we was alcoholics, oh, look at them sitting on the corner. Look at them. They ain't nothing. They ain't going to never be nothing. But now, we're going to get into it in a minute, how white people is the new, well, they always been alcoholics. We got everything we ever done, we got from them. And that's why I titled tonight's class, cool when they do it, but it's a problem when we do it. Yeah, because everything we got it from them. Killing, what they say, the Bloods and the Crips is out of hand. The GDs and the BDs, the war in Chicago is out of hand. Well, they got it from y'all. They got it from the Italian mob. Where the hell you think we got it from? You think we just walked out of slavery and said, yeah, let's just shoot each other? We got it from the Hatfields and the McCoys. Like, damn, we got it from y'all. So if I may, let's go ahead. Let's get into that first article. Local doctor seeing cases of teens consuming marijuana laced with fentanyl.
Common concept. Missouri.
Oui.
Local doctor seeing cases of teens consuming marijuana laced with fentanyl. St. Louis with recreational marijuana for people 21 years of age and older now, legal in Missouri, and now problem is surfacing. Doctors are seeing cases of marijuana being mixed with fentanyl.
Right, like I say, it's cool when they do it. It's a problem when we do it. You feel me? Now we don't advocate no drug use at all. You feel me? But when black people were selling drugs, it wasn't laced with fentanyl. You feel me? When black people was the ones widely known for doing drugs, it wasn't laced with fentanyl. You feel me? As soon as they make it legal, you feel me? Now look what's happening now. They done hit y'all with the okie doke. You feel me? It's legal now, and now you wonder, now you see why it's legal. Because it's laced with fentanyl.
Dr. Michael Wesinger, a staff psychiatrist at Washington University School of Medicine, has seen a few cases where teenagers have been inadvertently consumed the combination.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want to alarm people about this.
Right. Why not? See what I say? It's cool when they do it, but it's a problem when we do it. So when black people were selling weed, it was the war on drugs. White people selling weed, I don't want to alarm you that it's laced with fentanyl. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me, man? Oh, man, stop it, man.
But says parents need to have it on their radar.
I need to have a drink to that. So like that just blew me. I want to end the class right now. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'll go ahead.
Like I said, for me, this white on white crime is just out of control.
This is out of control. This white on white crime, we don't know what to do about it. I don't know what to do about it. I don't know what y'all gonna do about it. You feel me? But like the title is cool when they do it. For some reason, it's always cool when they do it. When we was doing it, we was evil, disgusting, nasty people. And now y'all made weed legal and y'all selling it in all the stores, all the pharmacies, whatever. Well, I don't know what it's pharmacy. You know, I ain't even smoke weed in so long. I don't even know where you get it from. I said a pharmacy. You feel me? Wherever you get it from, it's legal now. And now that white people making all this money off of it, it's laced with fentanyl. And the doctor say he don't want to alarm people about this, but says parents need to have it on their radar. You can't smell fentanyl. You can't see it with the naked eye. You're just gonna have to just take a risk, and you might end up dying. Like real talk. Matter of fact, at my slave, you feel me? It was a forklift driver. He was picking up a car. It was in another yard, not in Louisville, Kentucky. It was like in Pennsylvania or something. and he was picking up a car, and it was a nice car, so he set it down in the back so nobody could see him, and because he ain't wanted nobody to think he was stealing nothing out of it. He just wanted to look at it, and see, because it was like a Corvette or something, and it was fentanyl all in it, and he didn't even know, and he touching it, it's all on his face, it's all in his system, and he crashed through a whole building. Didn't even see it, and you know how they know he didn't see it? Because when they checked it, they couldn't see it. They had to call what's that called, a poison expert, whatever that's called. They had to call them people, and it's fentanyl all in his car. They had the little 3D black light and stuff. You can't smell it or see it. So you just really you out there doing drugs, you just taking a risk. And the white man hit you with the okie doke because they done made weed legal. They done made it legal, and you don't even know it's laced with fentanyl.
Wisinger says among his practice and his peers, he's seeing more kids who thought they were just smoking marijuana when drug screens show fentanyl.
Right, they thinking they just smoking weed. That's why I say all this extra crime and all this stuff going on, all people just smoking weed. They keep saying it ain't nothing wrong with it. Say it ain't nothing wrong with it the whole time you smoking fentanyl. That's why you going outside your mind the way you is, man.
The marijuana fentanyl mixtures cases are very recent. Overall, marijuana use among teens is up. Doctors say the general feeling is that since it's sold in dispensaries.
That's the word I was looking for, dispensary. I said pharmacy. It's a lot of dispensary. They got dispensaries everywhere, all over, even in Chicago. You wonder why all the murders rate so. I'm telling you, man, it makes you wonder why the murders just so high in these cities that's where it's majority black people. Is it really because of poverty? Is it the poverty, or is they giving you weed laced with fentanyl?
Is it safe to consume? But those people are not taking into consideration what others are doing with the drug after buying it from a legal business.
Right. So now they trying to blame it on the people basically after they buy it. Like whoever bought it, they laced it with the fentanyl. I highly doubt it. So yeah, we could drop that. Let's go to that next article. Cracking heroin. No, not that. Let's go to Justice Department.
CNN News. Justice Department sues pharmaceutical company for allegedly failing to report suspicious opioid sales.
So they suing the pharmaceutical companies. Did you know that? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, did you know that these white people is suing the pharmaceutical companies, man? Because of the opioid epidemic. So who can we sue for the people pouring crack and heroin in our neighborhoods in the 70s, 80s, early 90s, and even in the early 2000s? You feel me? Who do we sue? You know why you can't sue nobody? Because it's cool when they do it. That's why. When they do it, it's cool. When they do it, it's cool. It's a problem when we do it. You feel me? Now it's the opioid epidemic, and they suing the damn pharmaceutical companies, man. Are you fucking kidding me, man? Excuse my language, Salakia. Then they got the American flag in the picture, showing like they patriots for suing the pharmaceutical companies. But when nobody's suing Oliver North and Ronald Reagan, they sold a lot of crack. They was the plug. They was G Money and Nino Brown. Salakia. They was G Money and Nino Brown. They was Salakia. Nobody, right? Am I my brother's keeper? See what I'm? Oh my God, this is getting. Come on, man. I need another drink. Salakia.
The Justice Department on Thursday advanced that the Amasource Bergen Corporation, one of the country's largest pharmaceutical distributors, and two of its subsidiaries failed to report hundreds of thousands of suspicious prescription opioid orders to pharmacies across the country.
Because it's cool when they do it. When we were selling drugs, it was a war on drugs. It was a 3-strike law. They are super predators. They selling drugs. They not even reporting the suspicious orders. You know why? That's how the fucking Percocets and Molly's, well, not Molly's, so like the Percocets and all these Xanax and stuff is getting in your neighborhood. All these prescription drugs, this is how they get in your neighborhood because of the white man is the devil. He's the devil. He locked you up for selling weed and crack that he put in your neighborhood But these opioids, they ain't even reporting the suspicious orders. You know why? Because then they gotta explain how they get into these white colleges, how they get into these white neighborhoods where they overdosing and dying from these pills, man, which they don't want to do. See, they thought, look, the Bible say, and I wish I had that scripture for tonight, but I don't. But I think it's Revelations 18:4. You feel me? And it talks about how you gonna suffer from what you started. Matter of fact, let's get that real quick. It's a lot. Because that is kind of heavy. I don't want to paraphrase that heavy scripture that I love to pull. I'll read it. It's like I got it. Because it ain't on what we got. So yeah, it say Revelation 18:4, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people." You feel me? Come out of her, my people. Because these people is gonna destroy themselves. These kingdoms always destroyed themselves from within. The Romans, the Greeks, all these kingdoms fell within. The Persians, all these kingdoms, all you got to do is do a little bit of research. And you will see all these kingdoms fell within. And that's why the Bible is saying, come out of her, my people. It's talking about this nation we in, which is America. And my people is talking about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. That ye be not partakers of her sins, right? This opioid epidemic, that ain't got nothing to do with us. You feel me? That has absolutely nothing to do with us. That is the white man's business. And that ye receive not of her plagues. We don't want this. You feel me? We done had our crack epidemic, heroin epidemic. This opioid epidemic, this is their problem. This ain't got nothing to do with us. It's a lock you. Nothing to do with us. Okay, let's get back to the article. Damn, nearly a decade. So you telling me for 10 years this was going on? For 10 years. Man, you kidding me, man. For 10 years? It's a lot.
The company ignored red flags that pharmacies in West Virginia, New Jersey, Colorado, and Florida were diverted opioids into illegal drug markets, the suit said.
Damn.
The Department of Justice is committed to holding accountable those who fueled the opioid crisis by flouting the law, Associate Attorney General Vanita Gupta said in a statement Thursday. Companies distributing opioids are required to report suspicious orders to federal law enforcement. Our complaint alleges that AmerisourceBergen, which sold billions of units.
I don't know, so like I'm trying to pull it right back up real quick. Just give me 1 second. There you go ahead.
The complaint alleges that AmerisourceBergen, which sold billions of units of prescription opioids over the past decade.
They sold billions of units of prescription opioids. Oh, man, come on, man. See, how do they get away with that? You know, because it's cool when they do it. We selling crack and heroin. We going to jail. Do not stop and go. Do not collect $200. They getting away with selling billions of opioids, man. Billions. But the thing about it is, why that scripture was so heavy, this is a white man's plague. This ain't supposed to have nothing to do with us. But because we want to partake of her sins, we falling victim to it. But the Bible warned us about this. You go ahead.
Repeatedly failed to comply with their requirements, she added. If AmerisourceBergen is found liable at trial, the company faces billions of dollars in financial penalties. The Justice Department said.
So who do we sue for billions of dollars for the crack epidemic? Who do we sue for billions of dollars for the war on drugs? That's what I'm just trying to figure it out. So, Lockie, I just want to know, who do we sue? So, Lockie,
Lauren Esposito, a spokesperson for AmerisourceBergen, countered on Thursday in a statement to say the Justice Department's complaint rested on 5 pharmacies that were cherry-picked out of tens of thousands of pharmacies that use AmerisourceBergen as their wholesale distributor.
I told you, man, they the plug. But that's what I'm saying. They getting sued. What is that? AmerisourceBergen is the new Nino Brown and G Money. The old school school, Nino Brown and G Money was Ronald Reagan, Oliver North. Why we couldn't sue them for billions of dollars? Our mothers and fathers was heroin addicts and crack addicts. Why we couldn't sue them?
While knowing the absence of action from former administrators at the Drug Enforcement Administration, the DOJ's own agency. She added, with the vast quantity of information that AmerisourceBergen shared directly with the DEA with regards to these 5 pharmacies, the DEA still did not feel the need to take swift action itself.
Right. They say, what? You say the DEA say they didn't feel need to take swift action? That's what it said. The DEA, Drug Enforcement Agency. Don't ask me why I know what that meant that fast. I just guessed, maybe it sounds like that's what it meant. But they didn't want to take swift action, but they'll lock up the nigga on the corner for, it's a lot. Go ahead.
So it's
not
not
outside.
what it sounds like.
I need another drink. It's a lot.
Is that nobody's going to jail.
Nobody's going to jail.
They just got to cough up some money.
You got to pay some money. But nobody's going to jail. Matter of fact, why the users ain't going to jail? Fuck all the bullshit. Why is the opioid users ain't going to jail? Where they going? To rehab. They going. I wish I would have pulled that article for that. They going to rehab. That's where the opioid addicts is going. They going to rehab. The dealers, which is AmerisourceBergen, whatever it's called, some pharmaceutical company, they ass is motherfucking lock it. They ass is they getting sued. They got to pay money. The addicts going to rehab. Hey, you go ahead.
Come. In fact, AmerisourceBergen terminated relationships with 4 of them before the DEA ever took any enforcement action. While 2 of the 5 pharmacies maintain that DEA controls substance registration to this day.
Man, look, all I'm gonna tell you is this: if you don't understand what that means, it's cool when they do it, and it's a problem when we do it. I'm not saying black people should have been selling drugs. You should have not been selling drugs. If you was selling drugs, whatever penalty that is set for selling drugs, it is what it is. But what I'm saying is real funny how when we did it, it was a problem, and they doing it, and it's not. That's all I'm saying.
Yet, AmerisourceBergen was allegedly aware that in 2 of the pharmacies, drugs it distributed were likely being sold in parking lots for cash.
It was so in what? Man, good night. Look, they selling drugs in the parking lot. Hey, come here, I got what you need. Come over here, man. You know I got it, man. Yeah, what you need? 2 or 5, 5 or 10. You know I got it, man. Oh, you need that? Yeah, that's in the back. You gotta go get that in the back. They in the parking lot. They knew it was gonna be sold in the parking lot, which means this is getting sold on the corner. That's what they saying. This is not going to a pharmacy for legal purposes, man. Fuck out of here, man. This shit crazy.
In another pharmacy, the company was allegedly warned that its patients likely suffering from addiction were receiving opioids, including some people who later died from drug overdose.
Even some people who later died. Even some people who later died. They killing people is dying from these prescription drugs. These prescription drugs, people is dying from it. And the DEA said, we're not taking legal action. The DEA, the Drug Enforcement Agency, say we don't want no smoke. They don't want no problems. You know why? Because these AmerisourceBergen and all these other pharmaceutical companies is ran by the U.S. government. That's why. The U.S. government is making money. It's just the thing is they making it off of their own brothers and sisters. Salakia. You feel me? They making it off their own brothers and sisters. You feel me? That's what they didn't expect. But the Bible prophesied that in Revelation 18:4. That's why it said, come out of her, my people. You feel me? Because they about to destroy themselves, man. Real talk. You go ahead.
The Justice Department also noted in its lawsuit that AmerisourceBergen's reporting systems for suspicious opioid orders were deeply inadequate and that the company intentionally changed its reporting system.
Oh, they changed the drug route? Hold on, wait. We ain't taking I-65 no more. We taking 264. Don't go down I-65 no more. They watching us. Go down 264. Come on, man. I'll tell you, it's cool when they do it, but it's a problem when we do it. That's all I'm saying. It's a lock.
To reduce the number of orders flagged as suspicious amid the opioid epidemic.
Damn, man. This is crazy, man. Nino Brown and G Money.
Even when orders were flagged as suspicious, AmerisourceBergen often didn't report those orders to the DEA, according to the complaint.
They ain't even report. Even the ones that are suspicious, they did not report it to the DEA. They drug dealing. And you know who behind them? The U.S. government. That's why they're able to do this. Because it's cool when they do it. We would have never been able to get away with that. Stop it. Ask about the 3 strike law. Stop and frisk. The hell out of that. We would have never got away with nothing like this.
Opioids are involved in the vast majority of drug overdose deaths.
What? The pharmaceutical company drugs and nobody's going to jail? All they got to do is give up a little money? That is crazy.
Those synthetic opioids, particularly fentanyl, have played an outsized role.
Some they didn't came. Some they didn't came with synthetic.
Synthetic opioids, excluding methadone, were involved in more than 72,000 overdose deaths in 2021.
So wait, hold on, wait. 72,000 people overdose. 72,000 people is dead in 1 year, and nobody went to jail. Nigga, you sell crack and 5 crackheads overdose, they coming to find you. I don't know how, but if you selling crack and 5 junkies overdose and they test the drugs that they were smoking and they come back to the same synthetic brand and they find out who's selling that brand, nigga, you going to jail. What do you call it? Blue magic? Frank Lucas, blue magic? Man, they find out everybody is dying off blue magic. Nigga, you going to jail. What the hell out of that, man? We could drop that. Let's go to crack and heroin racial double standard.
Crack versus heroin racial double standard is hardwired into how we deal with drugs. How U.S. drug policy shifted from prosecution to compassion.
How did what?
Shifted from prosecution to compassion.
Now they'll marvel. We might have to talk. They might have some stuff for us for the lecture soon. So like that's a sidebar. If the Lord allow, we do a lecture. They'll marvel sound familiar. But yeah, though, it's how U.S. drug policies shifted from prosecution to compassion. How can that even happen? Go ahead.
When the war on drugs changed from black to white.
When the war on drugs changed from black to white. That's why. It went from prosecution to compassion because the war on drugs changed from black to white. And this is what the white man is telling you. This is what the white man is telling you. You hear me?
Here's where Maryland stands among other states. In United States drug policy, crack cocaine is the original sin.
Oh yeah, you the devil. You sell it, you smoke it, you the devil, you a heathen. You a heathen. They killed me with that.
Jermichael Mitchell said he's known heroin addicts all his life. It just wasn't very popular. But crack was heavy. Growing up near Delaware Avenue on the west side of Salisbury, Mitchell was born into the height of the drug eras over 30 years ago, watching this effect reverberate through the community.
Right. So he basically seen the switch from, a regular community to, nigga, this shit ain't right. You hear me?
His uncle and aunt abused drugs for years before finally getting clean. His friends sold crack in the streets to survive. Law enforcement lines were clear cut. Lock them up.
Right, that's what I'm saying, man. See, one thing about the so-called white man, he know how to create a criminal. And all you got to do is starve them. And you're going to resort to crime. Ask the Italian mob, ask the Irish mob, ask the Jewish mob. And they'll tell you why they was even a part of a mob in the first place. Because they was being starved. You feel me? That's why they was committing crimes and stuff like that.
When young men, even addicts at the time, were being caught with crack, the time was ours, said Mitchell, a black community influencer and activist. It was more of a war on drugs.
It definitely was.
Soft words like treatment options and leniency had yet to see their day in the sun.
Right, that stuff didn't even exist. That's what they're saying about opioids. About the white people that's dying from opioids, they're calling it treatment options and being lenient. They going after the big companies. You feel me? That's making them addicted. And why they ain't do that with us? Why they ain't go after Oliver North and Ronald Reagan trying to fund an illegal war? Why the hell they ain't do that to them? Nope, they ain't do that to them. Because it's cool when they do it, but it's a problem when we do it.
It's like I said, didn't Oliver North get a TV show?
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised though. I'll take your word for it though, because I wouldn't be surprised, man. They make fun of this shit. You feel me? They definitely make fun of this shit. I know that movie, TV show Snowfall was like kind of, it wasn't 100% accurate, but it was like a bits and pieces though of that situation. Because I know, I think his name was Blendone, the government agent that Rick Ross was getting the drugs from. His name was Blendone. So he was a Colombian or some shit. So he was some in the Central America. Might not be Colombian, but he was from Central America. From Nicaragua, something like that. I don't know. You can Google that though. It ain't hard to find. Trust me.
Addiction now is being considered a mental health situation.
It's because now being addicted to drugs is considered a mental health situation. They don't want to throw you in jail no more, huh? Now they got to put you in rehab. They got to put you in all type of psychiatries and stuff like that. It's a lot.
Hasn't it always been? Jake, had a lot of second chances.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I don't even know what Kiashna Dorf. I don't know what that is.
And his mother, Kathy, knew he was different from an early age. The white boy from Long Island was diagnosed with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder long before he would come to live on the Eastern Shore, and responded bizarrely to common medications since he was a toddler. When they say 1 in 1,000, Kathy said, her raspy voice laced with the New York accent, Jake would be the one. In 2009, the charismatic college boy with bright blue eyes found something that made him calm. Oxy.
Okay, cool.
From there, it was a series of success and failure, beginning with the crashing of his car at 18 or 19 years old while he was high.
While he was what?
While he was high.
At least they admitted that. He was high. He was fucking high. These opioids get you high. Come on, man, stop it. When you use it for recreational, it's supposed to just be for pain. But no, so-called white man took it and realized you can get high off it.
Kathy said her son was found passed out against the steering wheel. An unknown amount of painkillers plus pulsating through his system, and enough small bags of Xanax to be charged with intent to distribute.
Enough what?
Enough Xanax to be charged with intent to distribute.
And look, and why he didn't though? Enough to get in trouble. Why he didn't? I know some niggas in the world, they caught delivery charges, and they only had a bag of heroin on them. 2-3 grams. You feel me? You could have easily said he was using. I'm using this. I'm an addict. Got charged with delivery. But he got caught with enough, and they didn't even charge him. Might stop it.
Arrested for possession, Jake had to complete a court-ordered program to stay clean for 12 years.
Right. Why they ain't charged with a delivery? You know you can't get that off. That's a felony. You ain't getting no delivery off your record. Attempt to distribute, you ain't getting that off your record. That's there for life. That's there for life. They sent them to rehab. A court order program to stay clean for 12 months, that's rehab. You know why? You see, you look at it, did they say about his blue eyes and his white face? Look, they got a picture of him right here. It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when we do it. Like I just said, I know 3 black men right now got caught for delivery charges, and they could have easily got caught with just possession. You feel me? Possession of a controlled substance. You feel me? They drug addicts. You know, going to court and lie. I'm a drug addict. I was using. It's not that much. You know, it's only 3 grams. They said this man got caught with enough for intent to distribute, and they just sent him to rehab. It's a lot.
Which Kathy said took 18 after he was caught smoking weed. From there, it was psychologists and psychiatrists, blood tests, and long conversations.
Mm-hmm.
His mother couldn't find a bed for him in Long Island Detox Center.
Oh my God. He was supposed to go to jail for intent to distribute Xanax. But instead, they sent him to a detox center. Oh my God. It's cool when they do it. And you know what I think about with this? You know, I played football in high school. It's a quarterback got drafted to the NFL, and I promise you, he's garbage. But he got blonde hair, long blonde hair down his back. He about 6'6", and they say he looked like the model quarterback. I say, what about how he played? He's garbage. But they say he looks like a quarterback. Because guess what? All the black quarterback, the good quarterbacks now is black. On all the good teams, the quarterback is black. So they were just happy to finally get one of their own that can even be considered a good quarterback. That they just say he looked like that. And he's trash. Garbage. I give him back another year or 2, you're never going to hear his name again. It's a lot of that. And that's what I think about when I see stuff like that. They just giving them chances after chances when they nothing but drug addicts, man. It's their culture. It's their culture, man.
Long Island Detox Center when he desperately asked for help the first time. His battle with addiction continued. Few people would disagree. More resources are important in this epidemic. But the contrast can be striking. A racial double standard is hardwired into U.S. drug laws and the criminal justice system since the crack climax, and it continues today.
My goodness. Come on, man. A racial double standard. Do you know who wrote these articles? I'm going to just be honest with you. Even if a black person wrote this article, the white man approved it to come out. So he had to have a boss that say, yeah, let's post this. Let's post that. They say a racial double standard is hardwired in the U.S. drug laws and the criminal justice system since the crack climax, and it continues today. It's a double standard. You know why? Because it's cool when they do it, but it's a problem when we do it. It's cool when they do it. When they do drugs, it's cool. Put them in detox. Put them in programs. Let's get funding. Let's sue the pharmaceutical companies to the Stone Age. But if he's black, send him to jail. Matter of fact, let's find out who he got it from, and let's get him too, and who he got it from, and send them all to jail for the rest of their life. Fuck out of there. They know it's a double standard.
Just seeing a difference in charges, seeing a difference in government agencies, the difference in local community agencies who are truly now fighting this epidemic. Mitchell said, shaking his head, no complaints. We can't change the past.
All right, let's drop that because it's just gonna keep going more into it. Basically, how it's just a double standard and it's wrong. You feel me? It's a double standard and it's definitely wrong. Fuck yeah. Give me 1 second. Let's go to them screenshots. So we're gonna read some screenshots of some articles because they wouldn't let me share it because it's from Washington Post and I guess they charge or whatever. So you go ahead whenever you got it.
Compound. What's behind the growth in alcohol consumption? A comparison across demographic groups over 2 decades offers some clues. And there's been a particular rise in misuse amongst women during the pandemic.
Right. So this is going to talk about alcoholism. You feel me?
American deaths from misuse of substances, including alcohol, have increased over the past 2 decades, but not uniformly amongst various demographic groups. Overall rates of alcohol abuse and related deaths have consistently and significantly increased for white, non-Hispanic Americans.
For who?
White, non-Hispanic Americans.
So they telling you, remember they used to make fun of black people sitting in front of the liquor store? Now the white man is sitting in front of the liquor store.
While black Americans have experienced a much slower and less significant incline, and some other groups have led to decline.
Yeah. Black people ain't all that bad. I know they make it seem like we just so bad and we so terrible, but statistics just said it's been an increase in white people being alcoholics and a decrease in black people.
More recently, alcohol use has been up during the pandemic, with one study showing a greater increase of misuse amongst women than among men. For men, heavy drinking is considered more than 4 drinks a day.
It's a logic. That's a logic. Hell no.
And 14 drinks a week. And for women, more than 3 drinks a day and 7 drinks per week, according to the National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism.
And because of the pandemic, had everybody thinking the world was coming to an end. That's why it was an increase, especially women. You feel me? Because women already got that 35 and ticking syndrome. Well, when they get a certain age, now they want to act right. Now they want to do right. Now they want to serve God. Now they want to, you feel me, be a woman. So when the pandemic hit, they felt like, damn, we've been fucking up this whole time, and I need a man. And they ain't had no man next to them. That's why I say it's an increase with women, you feel me, during the pandemic.
Alcohol kills more people than many realize, said ISUPK, an assistant professor at Yale School of Public Health. It's a major contributor to deaths linked to physical injuries, interpersonal violence, motor vehicle crashes, self-harm, and other harmful outcomes.
Right, and they say that's up with white people. That's the thing. That's the whole point. That's why they even talking about it, because they say it went up with white people. So now, you feel me? They need to discuss it now. You know why? Because it's cool when they do it. It's cool when they do it. So now, because they're up in numbers in alcoholism, now they got to talk about it. Now they got to see it's a problem.
Between 2000 and 2016, according to research published in JAMA, alcohol-related deaths continually increased for white men.
Continually who?
Alcohol-related deaths continually increased for white men.
I'm telling you, it's cool when they do it. I'm telling you, when we was sitting on the corner with our OE, our 40 ounce, we was the devil the Bible speaks of. When the whole time, now they dying, they increased dying from it. Because they've been dying from it, but now it's increased even more. Now they want to talk about it. Now they want to see how to fix it.
2.3% per year on average, and white women 4.1%.
Damn, it's up more for the women than the men. White girls going crazy, and y'all niggas want to marry them. Ooh, that's a whole nother topic though. They say them white women is dying from drinking. Nigga, what the hell going on? It must be that interracial dating. See, you know, we gonna stay on topic though. We're gonna stay on topic. We ain't gonna veer off. We're gonna stay on topic. You feel me?
With middle-aged white Americans accounting for the highest increase of death.
The middle-aged. They said the middle-aged white women dying the most from alcoholism. It's a locky. You see a white woman outside the liquor store drinking a 40. That's all I can think of, because that's how they painted us. That's how they painted us. That's how they painted us, man. Go ahead.
Not the can with the paper bag.
Right, with the paper bag. See a white woman with the paper bag just sitting, yeah. You feel? That's how they did us. Shit, all the movies and everything, whole time. they the ones dying from it even more now. You feel me? But they don't want to talk about it though.
Rapid increases during this period in mortality related to alcohol and drugs like opioids amongst white Americans.
What we talking about? Yeah, that's their drug. That ain't nothing black people need to partake in. That's their drug. That's them. We don't need to be doing no opioids, man. We had our turn with the war on drugs back in the 80s and 90s, early 2000s. Man, that's done with us.
Particularly those without a college degree have been termed deaths of despair. The trend mirrors one experienced by Black Americans living in the cities in the 70s and the 80s. The underlying sources suggested by scholars are similar for the two groups, just shifting in time. Social and economic stresses, including poverty, stagnant or declining income, loss of blue-collar jobs, and disintegration of the family unit.
What did Revelation 18:4 say? Come out of her, my people. Can you read that last part again? The Bible said, come out of her, my people, be not partaker of her sins. Come out of her. And now look what's happening right now. The same stuff we was going through when we was being called drug addicts and alcoholics, now it's happening to them because of what?
The underlying sources suggested by scholars are similar for the two groups, just shifting in time.
Just shifting in time. For us, it was the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. Now it's 2020. You hear me? 2015 and all that.
Social and economic stresses, including poverty.
Poverty. White people is in poverty. Now they going through what we was going through.
Stagnant or declining income.
They losing jobs. That's why I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill the kids. And I'm gonna do myself. It's a lot. Chris Benoit. You heard about Chris Benoit? Go Google him. He was a big time wrestler and he killed his whole family and then killed himself.
Loss of blue collar jobs.
Oh yeah, the blue collar jobs is going out the window. It's not many around no more. Everything is on the internet. It's about electronics, and if you don't know how to work electronics, or man, look, all this stuff going out the window.
And disintegration of family units.
And guess what? The so-called white man's family is destroyed. It is be destroyed.
Like I said, if I may, sir, what you bringing out is heavy. I was watching something the other day, and it was talking about like you said, disintegration of the family unit. It was
right.
It was showing pictures of white kids going off to college.
Right.
And they just look so wholesome. Regular white kids coming back after a year. The girls got their head shaved.
Right.
Underarm hair, and you could just see how white families are just falling apart.
Oh yeah, most of them that's heavy. They falling apart, and they don't want to talk about it though. You know why? It's cool when they do it, but it's a problem to lock it. They found, look, man, the so-called white man kingdom is falling. If you ain't got it by now, if you don't know what we talking about, if you don't get what we going with all these information we bringing out, that we should be charging, but we ain't gonna do it yet. You know, we're gonna come up with our own app. We're gonna come up with an actual Kentucky app. You gotta pay for some of this, because some of this stuff the brothers be bringing. I want to clap it up for all the brothers down here in Africa and Kentucky, starting off with the camp leader, Officer Son of Quash. You feel me? ISUPK. You feel me? Officer Harold Moore and Zabak, man. The information we be bringing out, it just be so heavy. But of course, you know, people take it for granted. You feel me? They take it for granted because we black men, Hispanic and Native Indian men. You feel me? They take it for granted. But I'm telling you in a minute, man, Christ's gonna declare that all this stuff be paid for in the future.
For Black Americans, there was an added problem of the structural and explicit racism that contributed and continues to contribute to reduced economic opportunity and worse mental and physical health outcomes.
We'll go to the next one.
The rates of alcohol-related deaths among Black Americans declined somewhat in the early years of the 21st century.
It declined. Alcohol-related deaths. You know why? Because we stopped sitting on the corners drinking 40s. We God's chosen people, man. They know that they can't keep us down for too long. That's why now they're suffering from it. Go ahead.
But they began to rise once more in 2007 among women, in 2012 among men.
Right. And in 2007 among women, that's because y'all as want to be the man and the woman in the house. and that shit stressing you the hell out.
Nonetheless, the rate of alcohol-related deaths remains lower than among white Americans.
Why they ain't telling y'all this? Why, we need a college. The ISUPK and the Commander Hunter, we need a fucking college. We need a college course in every school in America. And we're going to just talk about stuff like this every time you come in. Because you don't even know that the rate of alcoholic-related deaths remains lower than among white Americans. White Americans is getting murdered. They killing, they unaliving themselves. So like, they unaliving themselves.
One factor might be a high sense of community and high levels of religious service attendance within the black community.
Hell no, it's ain't about religious service. I promise you, them Christians is getting drunk. I promise you, them Christians is getting drunk. But you know what's been on the rise that you ain't know about? The Black Hebrew Israelite movement. It's been on the rise. And every brother that ever come into the truth, guess what he gonna do? Stop being alcoholics. Stop his sons from being alcoholics. It's a domino effect. And you look up, now the white people is the only ones dying from alcoholic beverages. You feel me?
Which have consistently been associated with both lower and less severe alcohol use.
Mm-hmm.
Other possible reasons for lower rates of alcohol use amongst Black Americans is the well-founded sense that the possible downsides are far more severe for them compared with other racial and ethnic groups.
Mm-hmm. No, we just learning from what happened to our fathers. You feel me? Learning from what happened to them.
African Americans are more likely to be policed and to suffer negative outcomes during their interactions with law enforcement, as evidenced over the past year and history.
Put the drink in the truck. Put the drink in the trunk. Nah. We're gonna wait till we pull over. Police hot. You feel me? I'm telling you, that's the type of stuff be going on, man. We've been terrorized. The Asians ain't gotta go through that. The white people ain't gotta go through that. So they drinking and driving and they crashing their cars and dying.
African Americans, particularly men and those of low income, are at higher risk of more social and legal consequences associated with drinking and other substances.
And you know why? Because Black people is held to a higher standard than any other race. You feel me? From the Most High, because we God's chosen people. And that's why he sent Esau like a fucking yard dog, a guard dog on us the way he do. So what now we more conscious of how we drink, what we drink at, stuff like that.
Said Tamika Zabowski, an associate professor of clinical psychology, Indiana University, Purdue University, Indianapolis. They are more likely to experience negative health complications and be arrested and convicted.
That's true.
For example, one study found that Black and Hispanic drinkers.
Who?
Black and Hispanic.
They said Black. Why they always put us together like that? Why they always do Black and Hispanic together? You feel me? Maybe we might be the chosen people of God or something. I don't know. Maybe we might be the chosen people of God. Because it's for some reason they always put Black and Hispanic together. Just like that.
Drinkers are 1.5 times more likely to report adverse social consequences from drinking compared to their white, non-Hispanic counterparts.
Damn. It seems like we got an adversary somewhere. Just lurking around. Seems like we got an adversary.
These results support earlier findings of significant racial disparities and alcohol-related consequences. Some studies attribute this to increased policing in low-income Black neighborhoods.
That's definitely true. Our neighborhoods are overly policed.
Native Americans.
Ooh, Native who? Native American. Hey, go ahead. Let's go ahead. We got some scriptures to bring out. We might go over the time because I'm getting all these scriptures tonight.
Have experienced the highest rates of alcohol-related deaths, which have been on the rise since 2000.
Man, I'm telling you, man, they did our Native American Indian brothers so dirty, man. Them Native American Indian reservations look like third world countries, man.
According to a JAMA study, Native Americans' alcohol misuse can be traced to poverty,
Poverty, same thing blacks and Hispanics go through.
Family history of alcohol use disorder.
Same thing they go through.
Availability of alcohol at a younger age.
They definitely want us drunk early.
As well as stress from historical trauma.
Historical trauma. Who's been through historical trauma? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Slavery, Jim Crow, lynching, changing your nationality, taking over your heritage. I think we the chosen people of God. I think we suffering for breaking the commandments. That's what I think.
As well as stress from historical trauma. The death rate in 2016 was 103.2 per 100,000 for Native American men and 58.8 per 100,000 for Native American women.
There's just too many. And they said it's coming from historical trauma. They said that's where it comes from, historical trauma.
For other groups, 100,000, the death rate was 4.4 and 1.0 for Asian American and Pacific Islander men and women, 13.8, 4.6 for Black men and women, 21.9 and 4.7 for Hispanic men, and 18.2 and 7.6 for white men and women. While there's been an overall increase in such deaths among Asian Americans.
The who? The Jackie Chan? Jackie Chan and Jet Li and them dying from alcohol? I thought they was the last samurai. Man, look, man, and it's gonna tell you why. Now watch this. This gonna fuck you up when you find out why the Asians is dying from alcoholic beverages.
The trends in alcohol consumption tend to diverge by national origin. Among Asian American and Pacific Islander origins, U.S.-born individuals have higher rates of alcohol abuse than their first-generation immigrant counterparts, which may be because of cultural assimilation.
Cultural assimilation. Whose culture is this? The white man. The one that's dying from it now, that's been dying from it, and they've been hiding the numbers. This is the white man's culture. You know how you know? Because the Asian Americans is dying from it, and they say it's come from cultural assimilation, which means they came to America and seen this is the culture to get drunk and drive, to get drunk out of your mind. That's their culture. It's the white man's culture, man. It ain't our culture. We was the slaves. So we got it from. We was the goddamn slaves, man. Stop it. So yeah, we can drop that and let's get into the scriptures. Let's go to Numbers 9 and 10. And what we're gonna talk about, we're gonna talk about brotherhood. We're gonna talk about what's coming up, the Midwest barbecue, and why it's so important for the Midwest barbecue. So important for all the barbecues that's coming up. So like, let's go to Numbers 9 and 10 through 13.
So the book of Numbers, chapter 9, verse 10. Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, if any man of you or your posterity shall be unclean by reason of a dead body, or be in a journey afar off.
Being a journey afar. That's just saying like you couldn't make it. You was too far. But you understand, back during the time of the Passover, we all had to go back to Jerusalem. We had to go back to Jerusalem for the Passover. But if you was so far that you couldn't make it, you feel me? Go ahead.
Yeah, he should keep the Passover unto the Lord.
Right, you should keep the Passover unto the Lord. You still should keep it. You just got to keep it where you at. You ain't going to be able to make it to Jerusalem.
Verse 11, and the 14th day of the second month, and even they shall keep it, and eat it with unleavened bread and bitter herbs.
And that's how you keep the Passover, with unleavened bread, bitter herbs, lamb, all that.
Verse 12, they shall leave none of it until the morning, nor break any bone of it. According to all the ordinances of the Passover, they shall keep.
Right, so this telling you how to keep the Passover if you're not able to come in person because you was in a journey of far off, because you was unclean, or you just was too far away, you just couldn't make it, but you was trying.
But the man that is clean and is not in a journey and forbear to keep the Passover, even the same soul shall be cut off from among his people.
Right, so if you not unclean and you able to make the Passover, you're going to be cut off from the nation. That's what God said. That's the order. That's the law. That's how it became. That's how this is another scripture how people became Gentiles. This is how Paul and them had to go to Gentiles because people then left and they haven't served no Passovers for years, and they was cut off from the people, and they started serving the heathens that they was around about, that they was living amongst. You feel me?
Because he brought not the offering unto the Lord in his appointed season, that man shall bear his sin.
Right, and it's a sin to not keep the Passover. So, but the whole point is this: for brothers that's afar off or that's unclean that couldn't make it, that's the whole reason for the barbecues. For the Midwest Fire Weekend is coming up. Let's clap it up for Captain Marquardt. The whole point of the Midwest Fire Weekend is so we can see our partner now. So we can see our brothers and sisters, man. That's the whole point. They couldn't make it to the Passover because they was in a journey of fall, or they was unclean because maybe she didn't had a baby. You feel me? She unclean for 40 days if she have a boy. Unclean for 80 days if she have a girl. Or the brother was unclean, or he couldn't make it because he was in a journey of fall. And that's the whole reason for these barbecues, so we can see each other, you feel me, in a timely manner instead of just once a year that might not happen. All right, you could drop that. Let's go to Galatians 5 and 1 through 6.
Come. The book of Galatians, chapter 5, verse 1. Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith Christ has made us free.
Mm-hmm.
And be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage.
Right, and that's just talking about these philosophies. You feel me? Christ made us free from all the doctrines we've been indoctrinated with the truth. And don't go back into that. That's what it's saying with the yoke of bondage, because now you're going to be back enslaved to all these philosophies and all these people. Because once you believe a philosophy, now you're going to serve them. That's the whole point of Christianity and the Christian church, is to make you a better Christian. You feel me? That's a lock. I ain't posting none of them up. He talking about see folks in them. So, hey, Salaki. Hell no. I ain't even been checking that chat. He talking about see folks in them. But no, yeah, though, that's the whole point of the Midwest barbecue. So we can see our partner now. So yeah. Let's go to the next verse.
Verse 2. Behold, our Paul say unto you, that if ye be circumcised, Christ shall profit you nothing.
Right, because a lot of people, okay, what you got to know, when you being circumcised, that's when the foreskin come off your rod of your son when he's 8 days old. You feel me? And that's a covenant with the Most High. But a lot of people was thinking because they were circumcised that they was better than somebody that wasn't, because they lived in another country and they didn't serve the Lord, and didn't know about this covenant.
Verse 3. For I testify again to every man that is circumcised, that he is a debtor to the whole law.
Right, you a debtor to the whole law, because if you were circumcised, that means there's no excuse for you not to be keeping the law. What's your excuse for not keeping the law if you were circumcised on the 8th day? That means you've been taught the law since you was a baby. Since you was a little boy, you should be knowing the law, keeping the law. There should be no excuses. And I shouldn't have to go get no brothers from Greece or from Thessalonica or from all these other cities round about. You feel me? I shouldn't have to go get none of them that's serving the law better than you, or that would be more susceptible to the law than you. If you were circumcised when you was 8 days old.
Verse 4. Christ has become no effect unto you. Whosoever of you are justified by the law, ye are fallen from grace.
Right, so Christ is no effect unto you. Because if you were circumcised on the 8th day, that means you keep the law. Whosoever of you are justified by the law, ye are fallen from grace. But you fell from grace. Because the grace period is from you to stop sinning. So if you were circumcised, why are you sinning? It just don't even make no sense. That's why he's saying you have fallen from grace.
Verse 5. For we through the Spirit wait for the hope of righteousness by faith.
Right.
Verse 6. For in Yahushua Mashiach, neither circumcision availeth anything, nor uncircumcision, But faith was working by love.
Right. So you been, whether you circumcised, whether you not circumcised, faith was worked by love. You feel me? If you ain't got no faith in the Most High in Christ, you being circumcised don't mean anything. You feel me? You sitting there saying you circumcised, oh, I'm righteous and you not because I'm circumcised. That's not it. You feel me? Faith, which worketh by love. You feel me? And love is brotherhood, which they did not show back in the day. If they were circumcised, they lived in Jerusalem, they laughed at brothers and sisters that wasn't circumcised and didn't live in Jerusalem. And that's what Paul basically saying. That's why he's saying it don't mean nothing. While you thinking you the shit, it don't mean anything. So you can drop that. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 9 and 19.
Come. The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 9, verse 19. For though I be free from all men, yet I have made myself servant unto all, that I might gain the more.
Right. So Paul was a Pharisee. You feel me? And he said, though I be free from all men, I made myself a servant. The Pharisees was the ruling leadership in Jerusalem. You feel me? And he left them. And when he left them, he became a servant because now he ain't got the money no more. He ain't got the power no more. You feel me? He became a servant to serve his people. That's why he said that I might gain more, because the Pharisees were sinners, man. They was trying to condemn Christ. They was killing the prophets, man. They was doing the Romans' dirty work.
Verse 19. Oh, so like verse 20. And unto the Jews I became as a Jew.
Right. And unto the Jew I became as a Jew. Because he wasn't a Pharisee. That's you done it like the white man. You like a Roman. Just like the black leaders today. You like the white man. You living like him, you dressing like him, you talking like him, you doing what he want to do. You ain't really black. You ain't a nigga. That's why we always talk shit about the IUIC. Y'all ain't no niggas. Nigga, y'all ain't no damn niggas. That's why y'all talk shit and tell me we niggas. We a godly count. Them is niggers. That's the same way they did with the Pharisees. And when Paul left the Pharisees, he said, I became as a Jew, that I might gain the Jews. So now he's saying, I'm with the niggas. I'm down here with the niggas, thugging.
To them that are under the law, as under the law, that I might gain them that are under the law.
Right. They gained them that are under the law. Because right, you gotta understand, Paul was always sent to the Gentiles. You feel me? The Jews was under the law, but they wasn't keeping it, man. They was not keeping the law.
Verse 21. To them that are without law, as without law, being not without laws of God, but under the laws of Christ, that I might gain them that are without law.
Right. You're talking about the Gentiles, blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians that didn't know they was Israel or that was gone for so long, they was done away with the law. They done away with it. He going to go get them.
Verse 22. To the weak I became weak, that I may gain the weak.
Right. I'm trying to get them. You feel me? How is Nasty Nate gonna get the poor when he say they bums? He don't want them. That's why I say the IUIC don't know the fucking Bible, man. I don't wait. It's a lie. It's a lie, y'all. We done spoke the purple niggas up. Somebody named Vlad the Keebler say, I am black albino. Can I join the ISUPK? Salakia. Look, I don't know if this is a real person, but I'm gonna answer your question. If your father is black, Hispanic, or Native Indian of Negro descent, you are more than welcome to join the ISUPK. I don't know what city you in, but you need to find out whatever city you in and get up with that camp leader, and they'll let you know if you welcome in the ISUPK. We're not disowning no albinos or nothing like that. Go ahead.
So the weak I became as weak, that I might gain the weak.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like IUIC talking about they don't want the weak. They don't want nothing to do with the weak. The poor, they don't want nothing to do with them. They only want Kyrie Irving and rich niggas and Kendrick Lamar. That's why I say they don't know the Bible. They can't know the Bible because they must have never read this scripture.
I have made all things to all men, that I might be all. That's like it. That I might Be all means save some.
Right, that might by all means save some. That's what he's trying to do. That's what Paul trying. He's trying to save people. You feel me? And he going to the weak. IUIC go to the rich. It's like, yeah, so we could drop that. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 4:9.
Book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 4, verse 9. Two are better than one.
Right, two are better than one. That's most definitely true. You feel me? One person by themselves will start veering off and doing their own thing.
Because they have a good reward for their labor.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're going all the way to 10.
Come, verse 10. But if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow.
Right, and that's the whole reason why two is better than one. Because if one start having, bad thoughts or, thinking like, oh, no, maybe I can't do this. Maybe this ain't going to work. Maybe this ain't the truth. Maybe this, the other one going to lift up his fellow.
But woe to him that is alone when he falls.
Right, woe unto him, destruction to him that is alone. Destruction to him that is alone.
For he had not another to help him up.
Right, and what I'm going to say is most schools in ISUPK would start about one or two brothers. You feel me? One brother, then another one came, and then it became a whole organization. You feel me? One of them, then a two came, then three, then four. You looked up, it's a whole school of brothers and sisters doing a thing, having barbecues, having all type of stuff going on. You feel me? So let's drop that. Let's go to Proverbs 17 and 17.
Come on. The book of Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 17. A friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity.
Right, a brother is born for adversity. You feel me? Real situations expose fake people. That's when you're gonna find out if you dealing with a brother or somebody that's just there for the moment. Real situations expose fake people. And that's for brothers and sisters. That's brotherhood and sisterhood. You feel me? Just let stuff bad start happening in your life, and that's when you're gonna see who really on your team. That's when you're gonna see who really down for you. Because the Bible says a brother is born for adversity. Adversity is bad times, bad situations, stuff you didn't expect. That's when a brother is born. That's when you find out if somebody's really down with you, man. Real situations expose fake people, man. So let's go to Romans 12 and 10.
Come. The book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 10. Be kindly affection one to another with brotherly love.
Right, with brotherly love. That's what it's all about. The whole Bible is built off brotherhood. That's what it's built off of. Without brotherly love, you ain't got nothing. You ain't got nothing but a bunch of snakes and backstabbers. That's all you got.
In honor, preferring one another.
Fuck your family. See, come to the Midwest barbecue. Fuck your family reunion. Come to the Midwest barbecue. You ain't doing nothing else any motherfucking way. What else you got? You ain't got nothing else to do. Come here, Commander Hunter lecture about how World War III is about to put us free. It's about to set us free from under the white man. We ain't got to worry about suffering under him no more, waiting for him to give us a handout. Prefer one another. Right? So you can drop that. Let's go to Ephesians 4 and 29.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 4, verse 29. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth.
Right. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth. This is brotherhood, man. For what? What are you doing this for? Why are you doing that? Do you want bad stuff to keep happening? Or do you want to get out of hell?
But that which is good to the use of edifying.
Right. Unless you talking about edifying. Unless whatever you saying is to edify, don't let no corrupt communication come out your mouth. Keep that shit in your head, man.
And it may minister grace unto the hearers.
Right. Unless you want to say something that's going to educate. Unless you saying something that's going to educate the brothers and sisters that's around. Go ahead. We went all the way to 32.
Verse 30. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of God, whereby ye are sealed unto the day of redemption.
Right. And grieve not. You feel me? The Holy Spirit. You feel me? The holy vibe. The courage of the Most High. Don't grieve that. Because we are sealed until redemption, man. Until redemption.
Verse 31. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice.
Right. Get all that stuff out of you. Let it go. Let all that stuff go.
Verse 32. And be kind to one another.
Be kind to one another.
Tenderhearted.
Right. Tenderhearted, which means that you feel, okay, the brother did something, sister did something. You know it was for a reason. You know it's for a reason. You're not thinking it's to hurt you. Maybe they going through something that they need to fix or work on.
Forgiving one another, even as God, for Christ's sake, has forgiven you.
Right, and that's how you stop black on black crime. This is how you stop black on black crime. This is how you start hate in the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian community. And you be kind to one another, even though you told to look at this nigga like a nigga and mean mug him and look him up and down. Say be tenderhearted. You feel me? That don't mean be a bitch. That just means this is my brother. So I'm gonna let certain stuff slide that I usually wouldn't let slide. Because with the white man, you let everything slide. But not with your brother. You tenderhearted with the white man, but not for your brother. Forgiving one another. Never, ever forgive a brother. You don't never want to forgive a brother. But you'll forget a white man for 400 years of slavery. And the Bible says, even as God, for Christ's sake, have forgiven you. Christ has forgiven us for all the sins we committed after he died on the cross. But you can't forgive a brother. What? What did he do? What did he do? He stepped on your shoe in the club? Come on, man. Stop it. Get the hell out of here, man. It's a brotherhood class tonight, man. So, yeah, let's drop that. Let's go to Malachi 2 and 10.
Come. Book of Malachi, chapter 2, verse 10. Have we not all one Father? Have not one God created us? But do we deal treacherously every man against his brother by profaning the covenant of our fathers?
Right. Brotherhood is everything, man. But we have one Father. That's the Most High. And he created us. So how do we do treacherously against every man against his brother? How do we do that when we all family? We all family, man. We got one God that created us. And this is the Old Testament. This is in the Old Testament. So Christians can't say this is talking about everybody. This is in the Old Testament. God created us. This is talking to Israelites, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. So why do we deal treacherously every man against his brother? That gotta stop, man.
Verse 11.
We're going to 13.
Verse 11. Judah had dealt treacherously, and an abomination is committed in Israel and in Jerusalem. But Judah had profaned the holiness of the Lord, which he loved.
Right, and that's how it starts, man. It starts with not being brotherly towards your brothers. You look up, now you sinning against the Lord. Now you sinning against the Lord, man.
And have married the daughter of a strange God.
Right, and now you done married the daughter of a strange God, man.
Verse 12, the Lord will cut off the man that doeth this, the master and the scholar, out of the tabernacles of Jacob, and him that offereth the offering unto the Lord of hosts.
Right, so now you're trying to offer an offering to the Most High after you done sinned. You feel me? After you done just gave up the law, now you trying to offer an offering. You feel me? To say you sorry for it. When the laws is built off brotherhood, man. That's what the laws is built off of.
Verse 13, and this have ye done again, covering the altar of the Lord with tears and weeping and with crying out.
And we've been doing that time and time again. We sin against the Lord. We take on other gods, other nationalities, women. We do all these evil abominations against the Lord. Then we run back when stuff starts messing up in our life with tears, weeping and crying out.
And so much that he regarded not the offering made anymore, or receiveth it with goodwill at your hand.
I'm telling you, man, these laws is built and backed behind brotherhood. Without that, we ain't got nothing, man. We ain't got nothing without the brotherhood, man. Without the brotherhood, now we sinning against the Most High. Start off just unbrotherly love to now we sinning against God. So you could drop that. Let's go to Numbers 35 and 32.
Count. Book of Numbers, chapter 35. Book of Numbers, chapter 35. It's like it, verse 32.
33.
33. Book of Numbers, chapter 35.
You knew what I wanted then. You knew that one there. You say he didn't prop this out before, but this ain't the one. It's a lock.
Verse 33. So ye should not pollute the land wherein ye are.
Right. You should not pollute the land that you are in, man. What that's talking about? Drug dealing. You feel me? Scamming. Prostitution. Why are you polluting the land that you live in? It ain't talking about the ground. Fuck the ground. This ain't talking about manure. This ain't talking about grass and trees. It's just talking about the people.
For blood defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein.
What it say in Genesis? The blood of Abel is crying from the ground. Crying from the ground. It can't be cleansed but by the blood of him that shed it. You out there selling crack, you're gonna die. You're gonna get robbed. You out there killing people, you're gonna be killed. You out there robbing old ladies, your mama gonna get robbed. The land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. So if you out there doing all type of crimes and all type of stuff in your neighborhood, man, you're gonna die. You feel me? You're gonna die. You're gonna go to jail for 55 years. That's just biblical. You feel me? You can't defile the land that you are in, man. You feel me? So you could drop that. So that's the reason why the murder rate is so high. That's the reason why all the evil stuff going on in the black neighborhood, because we the chosen people of God and we committing the crimes. And we gotta start committing the crimes so the land can be cleansed, man. So let's go to Ecclesiastes 5 and 10.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 5, verse 10. He that loveth silver should not be satisfied with silver.
Right, being greedy. That ain't you ain't gonna never be satisfied with money. You got $5 million, you're gonna want 50. You get 50, you're gonna want 500. It's just never gonna stop. He that loveth silver should never be satisfied with silver. You love money, it's never gonna be satisfied. You're never gonna be satisfied with it.
No, he that loveth abundance with increase. This is also vanity.
But it's also useless. You hear me? Greed is useless. You seen that movie Snowfall? I mean the TV show Snowfall? So all that crack just to end up a junkie, a fucking alcoholic. because he was too greedy. He wasn't satisfied with silver. Most of the drug addicts in your neighborhood, the drug kingpins in your neighborhood, they wasn't satisfied with silver. To where they kept selling, they kept coming up with more schemes, and it became useless to the point where now they end up in the feds or they end up dead.
Verse 11. When goods increase, they are increased to eat them.
Right. The more money you spend, the more money you get, the goods. The more money you get, the more stuff you gotta buy. The more people come after you for all type of schemes. Family, I need this. Family you never heard of. You didn't even know this was your cousin calling you for all type of money, saying, I need help with this, I need help with that. You feel me? When goods increase, they are increased that eat them.
And what good is there to the owners thereof, saving the beholding of them with their eyes?
Right, and then what's the good of the owner saving the money? What they say, you can't live with it. I mean, you can't die with it. And then what they say, you can't die with it. Well, the Egyptians tried to.
Yep.
The Egyptians tried to bury the gold with them. It didn't work. They still digging it up right now trying to find that gold. So lock you feel me? You go ahead. No, that's the end of that. But yeah, though, the whole point of that is that greed, man. Greed will destroy you. Lusting at the money, it ain't gonna never stop. And that's why drug dealers end up where they at. They end up turning into alcoholics on the corner. Go talk to some alcoholics sitting at the liquor store. Just talk to them for a second. You will see that was the kingpin back in the day. That was one of the big niggas everybody looked up to. Now he's an alcoholic. Because like the Bible said, the silver increased, man. So you could drop that. Let's go to Isaiah 5:1.
Come.
What's like 5:11.
5:11. Come. Book of Isaiah, chapter 5, verse 11. Woe unto them that rise up early in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
that he may follow strong drink.
Right. Follow strong drink. This is your alcoholics. This is what happened. Destruction. Destruction unto them, man. This is what happens when you lust for silver. That's never going to stop. You're going to turn into this. That you wake up early in the morning and you follow it with strong drink. That's talking about liquor. That's talking about the winos. You hear me? The alcoholics at the liquor store. This is how that happened, man. Because they lusted after money, man. They lusted after the white man's riches. And it turned them into an alcoholic because they needed something to feed off of because the money was gone. There was no more money for them to live off of. So they turned to alcoholic drinks to where they became an alcoholic.
That continue until
They
night.
continue until the night. They at the liquor store early in the morning and they drinking all the way into the night.
Till wine inflame them.
Right. Until they just drunk out of their mind. They sleep on the concrete. And the Bible say, woe unto them. Woe unto them that rise up early in the morning that they may follow strong drink. You feel me? They chasing after that. They begging for change so they can go get beers. You feel me? Ain't nothing wrong with drinking. Ain't nothing wrong with drinking beers. Ain't nothing wrong with drinking strong drink. But if you waking up early in the morning, and that's all that's on your mind is getting drunk early in the morning all the way into the night, the Bible say in Isaiah 5:11, woe unto him. Destruction unto him, man. So your last scripture, let's drop that. Let's go to John 13:35.
Come. Book of John, chapter 13, verse 35. By this shall all men know that ye are my disciples.
Right, and this is Christ's own words. He's saying this is how you gonna know that ye are my disciples.
If ye have love one to another.
If you love one another. That's how you know if somebody is following Christ. That's how you know if it's a group of men out there that is really, really following Christ. If they love one another. The IUIC hate each other. GMS hate each other. The IGJC, the Candy Cane niggas hated each other. All these fake Israelite groups, all these churches, all these Muslim mosques, They hate each other. That's why they keep falling apart, man. You feel me? But we the ISUPK under Commander Hunter. You feel me? Get up with us this weekend, Midwest 5 weekend in Chicago. You feel me? Commander Hunter lecture on Friday, Bantu Festival on Saturday. Sunday is the barbecue, Garfield Park on the west side. Ooh, you feel me? Get in tune, you feel me? It's a lot. Let me get that off. Yeah, how about Shemel Shah Barakatham? Yeah, how about Shemel Shah? Class is missed.